Hello and welcome back to Dead Moose Gaming, and today we are doing a tank review of the T127. This is a tier 3 premium light tank, and it's a rather nice tank in my opinion, but that's my opinion. So it has 250 hit points, which is reasonable for a light tank of this tier, but nothing godlike or anything. It weighs just shy of 13 tons, which is again sort of average for a light tank of this tier. It's got 250 horsepower, which makes its top speed 38 kilometers an hour, which can feel a bit slow compared to the other light tanks, but you shouldn't really be playing this like a scout really. It's more like a medium in a sense. Its traverse speed is 34. Again, it's okay, but nothing to shout about. This is where it gets interesting. The hull armor, 40mm at the front and 30 at the sides and the rear. This isn't Panzer IIJ standard, but if you angle the armor, then the Panzer IIJ would struggle penetrating this thing. It would not have a fun time at all, and it's 40mm, but you can see that there's already the angling there. It's angled backwards, so that increases the armor thickness, effective armor thickness that is, and when you angle it like that, it's got two angles on it, so it makes it even more difficult to pen. But yes, so it has very decent armor. Its turret armor is good at the front, I suppose, and then it's not particularly good here because it's flat, and that's a bit weak as well. It gets one gun as it's a premium vehicle, and that didn't work. There we are, that's more like it. It's a 45mm 20 KL cannon. The penetration is decent for a tier 3 light tank, and the damage may seem a bit lackluster, but bearing in mind the reload is actually 2.14, I don't know why it says 2.4, but it's actually 2.14 seconds with 47 average damage. That can hurt. Yeah, as you can see, that the LTP shares a gun, this gun, and as does the BTSV and the Valentine 2. And it has AP, APCR and HE for its shells. The accuracy and the aiming time aren't brilliant, but it's okay. And yeah, the rate of fire is very competitive, and the weight, it's not particularly heavy, so it doesn't really slow you down. So that's the tank. Oh yes, the turret traverse speed is actually quite rather nice at 46 degrees a second. That's quite fast, and the view range, 320 meters, is again quite good. And the signal range isn't that good at all, though. 300 meters base, it isn't very good at all. So yeah, that's the tank. I have a fair few premium shells, but this is a premium tank, so I still get a lot of credits, even for firing several premium shells. Yeah, and some HE, some AP. I have some equipment on it, which is a bit bad. Vents and spool liner, and the venting decreases my reload speed while the spool liner protects me against crew damage or ramming, and I just have the basic consumables there. As for crew skills, I've gone with 6th Sense as always, and then Deadeye for some reason, which increases the chance of modular damage with AP and APCR shells, and then I've gone for 2 repairs there. And I've gone for another 2 repairs and some other things there, I can't remember what. Firefighting and smooth ride. So that's the tank. We're going to have a look at its armor in Tank Inspector, and then I'll show you some gameplay. So here it is, the tank in Tank Inspector, so we can have a look at its armor in further detail, but don't really want those. So you can see it's got really 2 bands of armor thickness at the front. It's got a stronger section here. So if we angle it at this degree, we can see that it's solid 60 really, this portion of the armor, and this is basically impenetrable to most tier 3 tanks in the game. There are a few exceptions, tank destroyers mainly, and the T127 has 47 average pen with its standard shells, so it wouldn't be able to do any damage against itself unless firing premium. So yeah, that's a rather thick section, but here it's a bit weaker, 40, 42, 43, but again that is still quite strong. And bear in mind there's a section here as well of 30 even. It goes down to 37 there, but that's quite thick, 54. So if you're going up against the T127, you want to shoot it either here or here really, or even on the lower glacis up until about there, as if you shoot below that, the angling of the lower glacis is going to compensate for the poor armor of the lower glacis, and that will not be fun. So if we're angled like this, let's just I mean, it's not perfect or anything. Oh god. It's not perfect, but that will... What am I doing? Come on. There we are. So if it's angled like that, the side armor becomes 65 to 66 there. That's, again, very strong for a tier 3. And it stays that, really, there. So you definitely want to be shooting there or there against this tank at this angle. As for the turret, I just caught a 20mm section there, but you don't want to be shooting at the gun mantlet, at least in this part. In fact, it was on the gun mantlet, that 20mm section here. If you could take advantage of this portion of the armor, it will not be good for the tank. So yeah, these do not count as hitboxes, so that would just do critical damage. I think it's to the observation of the tank. So this is fairly strong here as well. As you can see here, it's angled to quite a degree, so you don't really want to be shooting over there or there. But if you've got the turret, you probably want to be shooting here, there, just along there. There are some weaker parts there. So yeah, that's the frontal armor. And if we go back to the side armor of the tank, again that's a bit dodgy, but you can see that it's weak, the side armor with no angling. 30 to 40 on the turret, 30 to 29 really along this section. But however, you can, if you do not want to shoot here as this bit is angled, and then we look at the rear armor, 25 there, you want to be shooting here if you've got the back of the turret, as it is what do you call it? It is rounded, so it means that you're not going to have much luck damaging the portions of armor here and there, and you can just shoot anywhere else on the rear. It's not particularly good. So if we have a look at the frontal armor unangled quickly, the armor is 50 to 40, so you'll gain an extra 10mm by doing that, and that could be useful. Just bear that in mind. So we've had a look at the armor of the tank now, and now I'll show you some gameplay of it. So this is good matchmaking and a good map for this tank, has to be said. Ensk. This is a good map for most tanks, as you've got the portions to the east where Arty can rain down terror and light tanks can scout, and you've got the city portion for the heavies and such. But with this thing's armor, you can angle and auto cannons and machine guns, such as the Panzer 1C, unless they get to my rear, they really haven't got any chance of damaging me at all. So yeah. I have multiple mods. Gnome Father's gun and engine sounds, 2 separate mods. Then I have, oh, I didn't get spotted from that. Then there's flipping. I'll take that, please. I'll take these shots. Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was ripping that guy apart there with my damage, but I need to help these guys out with the main fight now. I need to get that changed, I think. Okay. The Chiha can be a problem, not armor wise, but gun wise. The gun is fairly decent on that machine. As soon as I say it's going to be no problem armor wise, I bounce. So this is where I'm going to focus on the Panzer 3A, bounce his shot, and none of the autocannons are my concern, but what I need to do is help out my team, because otherwise I'm not going to get that much damage out of this game. Make sure only my frontal armor can be seen by most targets. But that Paz managed to pen me somehow. I don't know who's doing that, it has to be said. Just finish that guy off. Oh, hello Paz 1C. Yes please. I'm not going to stop, but this D2 might be an issue. Got some good shots into him. So that's 800 damage, that's a fairly bad result. Oh shoot! Might be a good idea to shoot, as a matter of fact. I'll take him, and that's a Top Gun, right there. And I'm not really worried about this guy. Oh, I say that, but he actually did some good damage there. I'm on fairly low health now. So, I'm just tunnel visioning, and that cost me 1k damage. That's alright. That cost me 1k damage, unless I can get some damage on this medium, which is a possibility, I suppose. And I thought I repaired my driver, but I'm sorely mistaken. By the looks of it, these guys don't have. Oh no, 37. I can't get them anyways. That's really annoying. That should have been the 1k 8 kills game, but it wasn't, as I screwed up my driving. But yeah, that was a very decent result nonetheless. It's a Top Gun, 1k XP there. Yeah, I'm on 73% on my second cruise skill. It's silly, isn't it, for a tier 3 tank? Yeah, that should have been a 1k game. I have had a 1k game. Actually, it was a 1.2 game if I have a quick look. I'm looking in the wrong place. Sort it by tier. Yeah. 1265 damage with 1273 XP and 7 kills. I have a steel wall, and that was before they changed it, I think. Well, it doesn't really matter because basically I took 1000 hit points of damage without dying. It got absorbed by my armor and such like. 13 Top Guns, 5 high calibers, some other medals of various caliber, and then some commemorative tokens and a lucky, which is quite a nice one to have. So I'll jump into another match and see how I. So we are on Prokhorovka. 72% chance to win apparently, but it's not particularly helpful in low tier games because most people have less than 5k battles. So it can. Well, I've only got 6k, but the stats do not show the true efficiency of the player when it's this low down. So you'll see some people with 100% win rate, and that's only because they played 3 or 4 games, for example. So I'm going to head to the central part of this map, and looking at the tanks, there are packs which have very good view range, and our pack is more of an experienced player than of the enemies, so hopefully he will make use of the fact that it has good camo and good view range, and there's not much point going for the capture point at this early stage of the match, so I'm just going to aim in here. Unfortunate miss. Got the kill. It's T126. Bounce, interesting. Miss. Another bounce, apparently. How atrocious is that? I've switched to premium. Probably won't hit him there. Well, it looks like we're pushing. Oh, how cute. You'll notice that isn't tunnel visioning, because I know he can do no damage to me really. And once I've finished him off, I'm going to push cap, and hopefully that will be the end to proceedings. I don't like the way this artillery is positioned. Hopefully I can finish him. Oh, he missed. Take him. I need to watch out for those TDs. Focus down on the targets which can actually hurt me, and he's been taken out. That was a really horrid shot. And that guy just killed himself. All the more damage from me. He's not dead yet. Interesting. I've got tanks to face. I probably want to go for this pack. Oh, that's a bit annoying. I shouldn't have tunnel vision that much. But it just shows you how ridiculous the tier 3 TDs are. He was up on that hill. Can't really give you a great look, but it will have been a shot angled to a fairly reasonable degree, like probably like that. So he managed to go through my angled front all the way up on that hill, which is a good 300 meters I expect. Just goes to show that tier 3 TDs are good. So our main concern is the Valentine. I'll just ping the map for the team, as they probably do not have function or functionality of the last spotted what do you call it? Last spotted mechanic, if you will. But we're taking this Valentine down now, and he's dead. GG, well played to the team, has to be said. We didn't lose half of our force there. That was quite well played. So good job, team. That wasn't as good as a game as last time. That was a second class, which isn't that bad, but it could have been better if I wasn't tunnel visioning down on those tanks. I could have got into cover. Top on the team, top overall, 5 kills. Cool-headed, which is where you survive ricochets. Search them out in a row, I believe it's 10. So yes, this is the T127, a tier 3 premium light tank which you can get for the price that is 850 gold, but I bought mine for less than 50% of that, I believe. So thank you for watching this tank review. I hope that you have gained some knowledge from it, of the T127, and I'll see you next time.